good morning or good afternoon kung ano time din makikita. Pao here for kind of a special segment we are very lucky to have with us. Someone that you might recognize if you watch a lot of professional Dota. Please help me in welcoming Team Secret's Ace Carry. Ace, Marcos, we've been trying this since we started rolling. Hulgo. No? Yes, no?
It's close.
It's close.
Whole goal.
Alright. So everyone, please welcome Ace today. We're very fortunate to have him for a short interview and a little bit of a film room style. We're going to take a look at some of the games that Team Secret has had over this season in preparation, of course, for Super Major and DI right after that. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Well rested.
Well rested.
Yeah.
So you guys came off just a really crazy few weeks. You went through 3 straight tournaments: GSC, Epicenter, and MDL Changsha.
Yeah.
How has the grind been so far this season for you?
Like this past month, we literally just went back-to-back tournaments. Like I haven't been home in like a month, a little bit more I think. So it's pretty exhausting, I'd say. There's so many tournaments in a row. We won the first one, I think, as I remember.
Right.
Or was the
No,
second?
no.
I don't even remember. Like I don't even
There's
have
so
track
many
on it.
that you
Like
remember, right.
so much stuff is going on that's hard to even keep track on it. But it would be nice with a little more break, I'd say. Could need that.
So we'll try and tackle a little bit more about the rest of the DPC and your thoughts. But for people who don't know you, maybe it's time for a little get to know first. So you're known as Ace. You've been playing competitively for Dota 2 for a while. You've been playing with Danish Bears, Cloud9. But let's start with the basics. When did you get started playing Dota, and how did you transition from that point to the professional scene?
I started playing Dota way back. Like I think I was maybe 13.
Right.
So that's like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, something like that. I started out in Warcraft 3.
Cool.
As many people start out.
Yes.
Just like Battle.net. Just suddenly find this game, like why does this Dota game keeps popping up everywhere?
Custom maps.
Yeah, I was playing other custom maps, but I keep seeing this Dota game just popping up, and then I just started playing it a bit. And that was a pretty nice game, so just kept playing it. And then I went on to Dota League, yeah. And then to Garena and like Dota Licious and all kind of things.
Right.
And then it proceeded when Dota 2 came out. I couldn't really get a beta keys to begin with because they were like only giving up to not so many. So I had to win a 1v1 tournament actually to get it.
Right. And this was the 1v1 tournament against Crit. How did that happen? Do you remember at all? Did you know Crit at the time?
I surely remember. It was a nice one.
So what was the match like?
No, me and Crit were always friends. Like we have been always playing a bit together. And at that time we knew each other too.
Right.
So we just basically both played the tournament and then we meet up in the finals. And I think it was a BO3 in the best out of 1. And I still remember we played like Beastmaster, Windrunner, and Lina, I think.
Beastmaster mid.
Yeah, there was no Shadowfiend there. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
that was the 3 heroes I remember. And I won 2 of them. He won with Beast, I won with the others.
Right.
I remember. So 2-1 and I got the beta key. And yeah, I think I got a couple of beta keys actually.
Right.
I think I might have given one of them to him anyway.
Alright. So that's how you sort of got started playing Dota, but how did you get into your first sort of professional team? Do you remember your first professional team?
Yeah, the first time I played like official was in something called Any Pentia. It was also Danish. It was on my brother's team actually, Link, who used to play. It was him and Calculus and Krav and I don't remember what else, but it was some pretty good Danish team. And I was mostly just a stand-in playing. That was my first one. And then after that, I think I played in some 3D Max, like also Danish team. And that was actually back there. I played with I started playing already there with like Hester, Joe, Button, and Neuer and stuff. And Crit as well. I already knew Crit. We also played in some teams together back then.
Right. So in the Danish scene, obviously the Danish scene has been really strong in a lot of esports disciplines over the years. Dota 1, we had the MYM squads, MYM squads would get Danish players. Counter-Strike obviously has a very good esports sort of presence, at least among Danes. Would you say that being in Denmark was sort of helped you rise up in skill, or was it more of a personal journey?
I would say more of a personal journey, because I wouldn't say Dota is big in Denmark in general. Like, if you ask like general people, they mostly wouldn't know Dota, I'd say, compared to like Philippines or somewhere else. But one thing about Denmark is that like everybody can play and has PCs and like it's available to play and good internet.
Right.
So in that way, Denmark's pretty nice for it and definitely helped me.
Have you played at Philippine pubs, like in an actual LAN cafe, or just at least online?
Yeah, I played online,
Right.
but Net Cafe I only played on high ground actually. I think.
Just here.
Yeah, that's the only place.
Right. Well, this
Which
is not
is pretty
an
good.
Yeah, it's not an accurate representation.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I haven't really played like local.
All right. So this is sort of a obligatory question that we ask everyone who comes into SEA. SEA pubs. What do you think?
I'd say like, from what I remember, it's pretty talented. There's a lot of like raw skill, like good players. You can just see that they like have a lot of skill, but also very like a lot of flame or like aim or like wine. Something.
Is it
stuff like
completely
that.
different from playing in the European servers?
Yeah, I'd say it's a lot different. But I'd say all regions are very different, like very different.
All right. Well, obligatory question. So you mentioned a while ago that you've been friends with Crit for basically for as long as you've been playing Dota, right? Can you
Almost,
describe your relationship with Crit, both personally and professionally? Now that you guys are
We used to just only know each other through the game, like just playing together. He played all the time, I played all the time.
So how'd you meet?
I think we meet through some friends in Dota.
Right.
Like I was playing with some guy called Jambu, that's his nick, and he knew Crit as well. And then we just played some in-house league, and then we get to know each other through that. And then like he was pretty good, and I was pretty good compared to some of the other players. And then yeah, we just get to know each other and play together more.
Do you guys still hang out now in LANs? Obviously, you guys in
Yeah.
different teams.
Yeah, but mostly only when the tournament is over, because we are still like enemies.
Competitors, right?
Yeah, rivals. So usually when the tournament is over, we hang out a bit.
So I want to move on a little bit and sort of tackle your time now with Secret. You know, Secret, obviously, you guys have done pretty well. You guys are, I believe, the second to officially qualify mathematically. Right. For how has the year been? Just looking back, how would you describe your time in the team so far for this year?
I mean, this year for me has been very different and crazy, and like both because of the new system with so many tournaments, but also just because before I wouldn't even go to many lands at all.
Right.
With Danish Spirit, we will be like very happy if we even got to a land. Like, really prepare for it a lot. But here it's just like land all the time. Like I literally live on lands. I'm not even home. But very crazy year, like very different year, and very like new things happening.
How's morale in Secret right now? You guys
Morale?
have done well. You've won majors, you've won minors, you've played really heavily, but last few tournaments, middle of the pack. How's morale on Secret? Right
It's a lot up and down, I'd say, because we won a tournament and then we play next one and we didn't do so well, and then maybe next one again we do a little bit better. It's very up and down, and right now it's not that high, I'd say, because we got out of the tournament, even though we felt we should have done or could have done way better.
How'd you like your time in Philippines? Any interesting places you guys?
Yeah, I've been with my girlfriend at El Nido, Palawan, for like a couple of days, and we looked a lot of, we went on a lot of tours, and then visited the underground river as well, which was pretty cool.
All right, we're back with Team Secret Scary Player Ace, and we're gonna ask him a little bit more questions, but this time we'll focus on how Secret's been doing the rest of the year and some personal questions about the world of Dota now. And the first question in everyone's mind is, Team Secret, you guys have had some crazy games, some really, really long games, and one thing that people keep saying is, Team Secret is such a suddenly here's a barracks team, you know, like the game's going long against teams like NP even last year, or just any kind of team, but then there's always a point where the commentator will say, oh, Ace just took an entire lane of rafts, or mid one just deleted 4 heroes and now they're going down mid. Why is that the Team Secret playstyle now?
It's a bit of a hard question to answer because I don't really know myself how this kind of playstyle just became our playstyle.
Right.
But at some point I just realized this is actually our playstyle. Like this kind of things. Like this is actually how we win all our games.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it comes down to when it goes into late game, it's usually like it doesn't go well in early game. Like we couldn't really manage to like get enough lead or like have the right heroes to end early.
Right.
And then like we have to like turn back games,
Right.
which is kind of hard to do, but we managed to do in a lot of games. And then, so yeah, I'd say it comes from us not being good enough in early game and mid game stages, that we have to turn games in these kind of ways.
Right. But wasn't you guys aren't planning, like you don't go into a game thinking, okay, well we'll try and win the late game. It's more like it just happens that you
Yeah, at some point it's not like we from the beginning are like, okay guys, we're gonna do this 50 minutes and we're gonna have mid one fucking one shotting everybody. That's not really the plan, but at some point we know that we just trying to think like, okay, what is our win condition now? Like,
right.
And it might be some LD ratting, it might be Kunga going into his one shots.
That's actually pretty interesting because I don't think a lot of players, or at least when they're not that high of a level in understanding Dota, the idea of the win condition shifting from the draft to what actually happens in game. Do you guys? How does the communication on the team happen then when these sorts of situations come up? Do you have like just one person constantly saying this is how we win now, or is everyone communicating?
No, it goes more like smoothly. So in a way that we're playing the game and everybody's just playing, and at some point maybe we know that we can't really fight them anymore, and in that case I already have to be in position to be reading them. So, and I'll just be in this position because I know that I'm just doing my job as my hero. Like I know I don't want to be in the fights because I'm not gonna do much in the fight. So I'm already in position, and then I might say that I'm gonna rat now, and they will know that okay, this is good. We're gonna make them not TP and like
keep them from
for like doing anything about that. So it's more like it goes smoothly. Like people are on the same page, and sometimes you can talk about it like all right guys, what should we actually do here? Like what's the best thing to do? But usually it's not like that. Like
usually just clicks.
Know, yeah, it just kind of clicks, and like maybe somebody get an item and like, hey, we can actually take the team fight. Like we're stronger than them now, or something like that.
All right. So with that though, you guys have been coming up with a lot of innovative stuff. Obviously, I think what comes into people's minds are mid one Kunka, who's been making that a thing since, to my mind, at least late December. Right, at least 2017, not even 2018. Can you walk us through though, like how and why Team Secret seems to be innovating some of these strategies? Like, what's the mindset? Is it just because you guys are playing a lot of pubs? Do you guys like to experiment a lot?
I think it comes down to like personalities on the team. Right. Like everybody on the team is very creative. They like to make new things happening. Like mid one, suddenly he wants to play some Phoenix mid. He thinks it's good. He says, yeah, Dazzle mid, and like Kunga mid is OP. He says suddenly, and it's the same for everyone. I think like people don't really think too much about the meta all the time. Right. Instead, they just try to find new, like what is the new OP, and also because there's so many patches all the time, so you always try to find okay what is actually OP now and make it happen.
Can you explain to us the techies pick at TAC?
When techies came out into captain's mode, I think everybody was not sure if he's actually like really strong or like not so strong, or like what is this hero? Right. But at the same time, in a lot of games, it just feels like he's way too strong. Right. But he's very complex hero. So I think we probably rushed a bit into it. Because Yapsa haven't even practiced much yet. It's more like talked about how to play this hero, but that's not enough for the hero. The hero needs to be practiced very much. Like he's kind of like Meepo in the sense that he actually have to have so much practice. Right. One of the highest skilled heroes, I think.
Everyone on the team has to sort of execute around this hero.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
That also.
Do you think it's going to be strong? Is it going to come out? Is there a team that's going to come out with it in the next?
Only if they have a player who's very committed to the hero. Because the hero, I think the hero can be really like, you can make him work for sure. But also he's very he's not a hero you just pick. Like he counters something, in my opinion, because I played him a lot too. And like for example, like Morphling or something like that, I would pick him against a hero like Morphling, like low HP heroes. But if you have a guy who's very committed to playing it, you should definitely pick it, I think. but not many teams have that, to be honest.
Do you like him as a hero?
I think like in general, Dota has some really cool spices to the game,
Right.
and one of them is like Techies, you know.
It's a very safe answer. Come on.
Yeah, but to further on that, I'd say that yeah, I do like him because I like that Dota has these kind of things. Like,
Right.
where like you're in the mood for something, and then you can play Techies, but Techies is like it's some other way of Dota. Like it's
That's true. That's true.
It's just
Sometimes
a different game.
it doesn't feel like you're playing Dota.
Yeah, and then if I'm in another mood, I'll just spam Meepo games all day,
Right.
and then another move I'll maybe play some some more normal carries like PL or something. Just
Right.
it depends on my mood, kind of.
Right. And
But
Techies adds to that.
Techies has some unique style and fun you can have out of him, so I like it in the game. Makes the game very.
Well,
Yes,
we're
fun.
going to tackle the other heroes that you like, particularly Meepo and Visage. We had the bounty rune changes. We had the experience on the lanes change. Now it's sort of ushered in the whole 2-1-2 sort of metagame for the lane composition. Now we know you don't like that too much, but how do you guys cope with it? Like, how do you cope with like every 2 weeks there's a new metagame? How do you adjust?
We just like we basically have no choice, so we basically just have to look at the patch together and like try to figure out what's the best way to play now. But that's why when they change the mechanics, the deep mechanics is kind of hard to do, because you just have to you basically just have to spam a lot of game fast to feel it, because this is like more like muscle memory. Like for example, they change suddenly that strange heroes have more HP or something like that. So now everything you have in your mind when you're a Gengar hero, that strange hero that you can normally kill,
Right.
like it's just now you suddenly look like some noob because he's just way too
He's
tanky,
not
and
dying.
you're like
He's not dying anymore.
you make some combo and you're like, what the hell? I can't even kill this guy anymore.
Right.
That was the same thing with all the status resistance stuff. That was also some. I didn't
Did you like
at all.
that change? I know a lot of people didn't like that change.
I like that they changed it back. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I like. I didn't
Yeah.
like it to begin with.
Strength having.
I'm fine with Tiny having it, like one
as an ultimate.
one unique ultimate or something like that is cool. But
Everyone having it, you can't kill a beast.
it's like you hex somebody and then
They're free.
you are some invoker. Like you're invoker, you have your hex combo, you know exactly how to do your combo. But on each different hero who has each different strength, you don't know how to do it anymore.
Right.
Because they are not hexing this duration or like stuff like this. It just makes it way too random. Like
Right.
I don't like it.
Well, that being said, though, we've seen some people comment that the patch should be fair. It should be inherently fair, right? Because it affects everyone, like you said. It all comes down to muscle memory now. You're all getting hit. But what is your opinion on people who say that? Do you think that it is fair that the patch comes in every 2 weeks and it hits everyone? Sometimes in the middle of a tournament. Well, thankfully they changed that now. But
I think in some way, it's I don't know about fair or unfair or something like that. But if you have practiced really hard and you really have some great muscle memory, and they change like the fundamentally how it works, it will like harm you in some way. Like it will harm you more than
right.
a guy who
someone
didn't practice.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
like, and this is really bad. I don't like that, because like you should really be rewarded for your practice, right?
Right.
There's no way it should harm you. It's like you play some tennis sport,
Right.
and then suddenly you come into the tournament and they change your racket. Like you suddenly have some weird racket, like, and
Right.
that's higher or lower than you play with all the time.
That's true. That's true. So it doesn't. The patch changing every 2 weeks doesn't affect all teams equally, right? Because sometimes a team that's been practicing this one thing, suddenly this hero is good now, and now this team that didn't practice that but had a good player. All right, I can see that. Is there any change at all that you think helped you or Team Secret the most out of all the patches that we've had so far?
That's more like minor change, I'd say. If one of our good heroes got buffed or something like that.
Right. But
'cause
nothing really major.
I think fundamentally, all the patches that come through, not all of them, but like the thing that happened is that the farming a lot has become a bit weaker, I think, and like just pressuring and killing heroes and like not farming much. Farming is not that strong at the moment, and I think our team likes to farm a lot.
Right.
Like our supports, our cores.
Again, 50-minute games.
Yeah, that's also why we get into these games, because everybody likes to farm. It's just kind of our playstyle, and all the patches that comes out like lately, and it doesn't really favor that much. So it hasn't been good for us, I think. I think back when the start of the season, it was way better to farm, and we played. That's also when we played more Meepo and like these more farm intensive heroes. and we did better. I think that's one of the things for us that is not really good. But I don't know, like buffs. I think in general it didn't really buff us much these patches.
Right. Not as much as some other teams probably.
Yeah.
All right. Now speaking of some other teams, you guys played a lot. You've basically been invited to everything. You have been invited to everything.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys have to say no to some of these tournaments now. Which team would you say is your nemesis? Like, this is your number one rival, right?
I would say it's between VP and Liquid.
So just between the top dogs, just VP.
Yeah.
And Liquid, right? Why VP? Well, aside from them just crushing. Right
Just
now.
I would say that it's probably the teams we would be most like hyped to play against. Like we would be most on our game, like 120% like focused, or just respect the most. I guess you could say.
Right. So it's these two teams. Is it a direct playstyle counter? It's more because you guys know the players.
Because we've been playing like a lot of top finals against each other and stuff like that, and just respect each other, I guess,
I see.
the most.
What's been your favorite tournament of the DPC?
It's probably Dream League, I'd say.
Dream
Definitely
League,
one we won, because that felt really good.
Right. It was a 3-0 victory against Liquid in the finals.
Yeah.
You also defeated
Also because of that, yeah.
2-1 in
Yeah.
the winter final.
That's one of the big reasons that we just kind of demolished Liquid.
Right. And this was again early in the year.
That's just the one I remember the most, but also that was the one where they played with Coach, or was it? There's so many tournaments, like it's
been
confusing
so
to
many
me.
tournaments. That's
So,
fine.
like-
That's fine. So, well, I mean, we're now in the DPC. We're in the end of the DPC actually. You know, just the super majors left. What has been your opinion so far of the Dota Pro circuit? The majors, the minors. Do you think it's been good for Dota overall? Is there something you'd want to change? What do you think?
I think that it's too many tournaments that we went to, at least.
Okay.
I think something with the system is that there's both minor and majors, and I would be very happy if we like only went to majors. But there's a DPC points in minor and majors, so we kind of have to go to it. Like we should go to all the minors too, because we just want to have as many DPC points as possible to make sure. So there's too much tournaments in my opinion, because I would say that like going to one tournament a month, one LAN a month would be the max.
Right. Would be ideal.
Would be ideal. Like just if you look into any other sport, you look into some other team, like they would play maybe one match a week
Right.
in a tournament, and then when the tournament is done, there's gonna be a break before next tournament,
Right.
like a long break.
Right.
But in esport, we just play many matches each day, and for us, we just did that for like 3-4 weeks. Just played matches each day, and we just fly the next day, and then on the same day we flying, we have to do media, and the next day we play again.
Oh,
That's
I see.
all the time like this for so long. So
Do you guys get any practice in at all? Because it doesn't sound like there's room for, you know, actual practice matches, scrims. If you guys have to travel and then media and then play and then media and then play and then travel again, how's
when
is there some tournaments you're just practicing in the tournament? Is that happening?
when it's as tight as it is right now, our practice is basically like group stage games and stuff like that.
Oh,
But like sometimes this is very tight, like lately.
right.
Before that was a little bit more. We had a little bit more time, and there we could practice some, but not really ideally enough, I'd say.